Hello and welcome back to the You Up podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. So good to be back here with you, Jordana. How are you? What's the haps? What's going down?
Happy July.
Happy July. It is so bizarre that it's July. Like, it feels like this year is
There has been no summer.
No summer. Well, the New York of it all. New York, baby girl. You got to wake up.
Seriously.
You're sleeping in late. It is gross because we're taping this.
Well, actually, next week it's supposed to be like 100 degrees.
A scorcher? I mean,
it's supposed to be in the 90s and 2 days of the week are supposed to be 100.
Yeah,
next
I'll
week.
be long gone. I'll be on, well, as this is taped, not to give away, that I am right now on the beaches of Portugal. You haven't been to Portugal. You're going
I actually
after me.
I have been there before and I'm
excuse
going
me.
back. I've been there twice before.
Excuse me, I'm talking to a CEO.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I've been to Lisbon. I told you it looks like San Francisco. It has a San Francisco vibe.
And which is probably why I'll love it.
I think you will.
The
Great
biggest
food.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
I'm like from the tourism
Like
bureau.
very like hilly.
Older buildings, I've heard. So I'm starting in Lisbon, and then I'm going to Comparta, thanks to Over the Moon Vacations. They've helped me plan the whole trip. I got my brother and his wife going. I'm going to be third wheeling.
Amazing.
In Europe. That's where I am right now, if you're following me on Instagram.
You're doing the challenge. You're hanging out with a married couple.
Well, this is actually...
Go on vacation with them. That's
right.
what you said, right?
I did
Book
say
an surprise adjoining room to a married couple that you know who's going away.
Well, joining room or get the couch in their room. That's what I'm doing.
Are you?
No. Okay. I got my own room, and I will say this, on to the challenge. The challenge was delete the apps. I've done that.
Okay.
Go make plans with a couple. Okay? I've done that. I'm trying to do that with you. You don't answer my texts.
That's not true.
I
said you have an open invite.
My August plan is to be in your pool.
You will be there.
Hang.
Yes.
I want to be in that pool with that new liner.
You will be invited.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Mike and I are thinking of throwing ourselves a joint 36th birthday.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
You only turn 36 once.
Only once. And it can be in August because your birthday's in September.
Yes.
When's Mike's birthday?
And his is July 31st.
This is perfect.
So it's got to be in August.
Your birthday works perfectly for me.
That's the idea.
Which is all that matters.
Yes.
Okay. So that's one of my plans. And then look, before I get to what I did last night, which is part of the challenge, and I did have a learning experience for dating, and I'm happy to bring that here to the You Up universe. Part of it was also, July 4th is coming up.
Yes.
July 4th is the perfect meet someone holiday.
100%.
This is like, I'm getting chills just thinking about it because it's July 4th is a holiday no one needs or cares about, or it's not about anyone's death.
You don't have to be with your family.
No family, but it's a reason to do something and to hang out with your couple friends.
I think a day drinking event is like the best time to meet someone.
That's when you meet someone because everyone is, again, at the beginning of the day, they are fully there.
Right.
Lucid. There's no pregame. There's no other, maybe you have other places to be. And it's a good duck out. That's what
There's
you want.
food. You're having you're not like just going out and drinking. You're
Right.
you're eating a hot dog.
Something I've talked about here that isn't as popular as some sayings, but I really believe in it, is the idea of back alley dates versus Main Street dates.
Okay.
Meeting someone on a dating app and going for drinks, that's a back alley date. That's in front of no one. That's just
No one to
you
answer
two.
to.
No one to answer to. Nobody to make eye contact with and see. No real world from that. It's just all spoken in hypotheticals and I woulds and I coulds.
Okay.
Main Street dates are in front of the community.
Public.
They're in public. They're amongst your friends. They're you actually living your life. You at a barbecue is you doing, not saying I would love to go to a barbecue. So 4th of July hangout, that's a Main Street date.
Yeah.
That's a Main Street experience. We want more Main Street experience. We want less back alley experiences. Back alley experiences happen on the phone. Main Street experiences happen with your friends, with your family, with your friends' spouses. I'm pushing this hard.
Okay.
This is my let them theory.
Let them
Except
go.
I wrote it,
Yeah.
not some other person that I stole it from. So I think this is...
Okay. So So you're doing the challenges.
Last night,
I want to hear about last night.
That's my push for July 4th.
Okay. Get out there.
And if
Make
you're
a plan.
Listen, the worst person alive is like, oh, you're celebrating the country with all that's going on.
Oh my God.
Fuck.
Shut up.
You.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about getting you laid and with the partner that you're going to love for the rest of your fucking life.
And a hamburger.
So get off of it for 2 fucking seconds. And a what?
And a hamburger.
And a hamburger. I'm a hot dog guy, as people know from my viral.
You're a hot dog guy?
Did you see I have a viral video?
I did not. Show me after.
I'll show you after. Nothing worse than talking about your viral videos.
Have you seen my viral video? You haven't seen my viral?
You're not one of the 2.2 million people?
You haven't seen my viral video?
Oh, I had a...
You prefer hot dogs to hamburgers?
I like both.
Cheeseburger? Oh my God.
I guess, what's your ranking? Rank the 4th of July barbecue foods. Go.
Medium rare cheeseburger.
Okay, that's one.
Let's see. Corn on the cob.
Out of nowhere, she brings up corn on the cob.
I like a good corn on the cob.
I never would have thought of it. You're right, though. It's good.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than a tasteless corn on the cob. You ever have it's like getting the bad pistachio nut?
Yeah.
You know, every one now and again you're like, ugh. And then when a corn on the cob is in season.
Totally.
And then nothing annoys me more. My dad does this thing where he'll talk about a healthy food, how delicious a healthy food is.
Okay.
And it's almost like I can tell he's being like, you should eat the healthy food.
He's trying to sell it. It's
right.
not working.
And I hate when someone's like, oh, this apple is delicious. Have you tried the apples? And it's like, I've seen an apple.
Right.
I don't need to know.
You know what he's doing.
I know what a 10 of an apple is.
Okay.
It's not a 10 of a candy bar or a cheeseburger or,
Fair.
I just don't like the idea. Have you tried, my dad, have you tried the corn on the cob, sweet as sugar? That's a big line out of him.
Sweet
as sugar. Sweet as sugar. Yeah, that's a big line out of my dad. Okay, so 1, medium rare cheeseburger, 2, corn on the cob.
Steak. I like a good steak. Not really for a mass.
Spoken like a true mansion living CEO.
I wouldn't have a steak at like a large barbecue.
You better have steaks at your birthday party.
All right, for you, I'll make sure you get a steak. Okay. How do you have your steak?
Medium rare.
You know, a big yellow, I would say yellow red flag for Mike is that he gets steak well done.
Well done.
It's very embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
He like whispers it to a waiter.
At what point did you find this out?
A little emasculating. What?
Right. I like medium sometimes. Medium isn't as bad. It gets
okay.
a lot of crap.
It's okay.
But medium rare is the order that I would go with. But sometimes I'm like...
Publicly, you've got to go with medium rare, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so cheeseburger, medium rare. Corn on the cob, steak.
Good summer salad.
I
don't know. What do you? What's your ranking?
Okay,
I think that's enough.
I can't believe hot dog. Okay, my number one, hot Italian sausage with peppers and onions.
Interesting. Well, Mike will definitely have one of those.
That is, I mean,
I don't like that much.
You don't like?
I don't like sausage.
I'm getting chills just thinking about a hot Italian sausage.
All right. Well, at the pool party, there will be one with your name on it.
You better have one. Okay. Then I'm going Asian pasta salad. Like
at a 4th of July barbecue?
Yeah,
are you even American?
No, like yeah. I go Asian. I'm Team China on this one.
Okay.
Asian slaw. That's what I like. I love an Asian slaw. I don't know. You know when they put like the noodles from a ramen and they don't cook them? You ever had one of those? This is something that maybe only my aunt. You
like
got
a
right
Chinese
here.
Chicken salad?
It's Chinese chicken salad adjacent. You've seen this before, V.
Okay.
My aunt used to make it, and I just would really eat it up.
Did she ever give you the recipe?
I never really asked her. We don't speak anymore, so
it's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late.
Water's under the bridge on that one.
Yeah, okay.
I guess it's gone out of my life. I had to give up the Asian salad.
You should ask her for the recipe and then start selling it. That would be the ultimate revenge.
Listen,
as you've heard.
I've heard.
That's been
at my brother's wedding, the challah maker that will not be named here.
That could be like your family's thing.
That we just take people's recipes and
then monetize them. Yes.
Yeah.
Capitalist queens, as they call them on Instagram.
That's us. I'm a capitalist queen. Okay. Hot Italian sausage, onions and peppers, Asian slaw.
None of these things sound American.
Yeah, listen,
Italian sausage.
I'm not
Asian slaw.
I'm not a homer. I like what I like.
You don't love your country?
I think my country's fine. Okay. A lot of issues in this country. I don't know if you've heard. Okay. So, and then I go steak tips.
Steak tips.
Steak tips might be a New England area thing.
I've never even heard of that.
Steak tips are basically like chunks of steak.
Okay, so just like steak that's cut up into smaller pieces,
and put in a sauce. It's like
that makes sense because like you don't need a whole steak,
right? It's a big. I think it's a New England thing. Like turkey tips.
Do you ever do like a clam bake in the New England?
Have I done a clam bake?
I've never done a clam bake.
Never?
No.
Oh, growing up, my grandparents used to we'd have a lobster. We'd steam lobsters. And we'd have them crawling around outside.
Right, the rich grandparents.
Yeah, they were all rich. I mean, like, come on. There was no
that
poor
doesn't help
grandparent.
differentiate.
Which one? So, no, we put out the lobsters and have them crawl around. My grandfather used to make. My grandfather on my dad's side was an amazing cook.
Okay.
He was a butcher. And he used to make, he'd make everything.
For a living?
In his early life, I think he was a butcher.
Okay.
And then I think he was a cook in the Korean War, during the Korean War, if we're going to go 4th of July on this.
Okay.
And then, but he used to make everything. I told you the story here about my dad having a heart attack.
Yes.
And then my
you guys
grandfather.
Went over to swim in his pool.
We go to swim in his pool and then we went to my grandparents' house and then my grandfather made turkey pastrami.
Okay.
And my grandmother and him, after my dad had a heart attack and hypothetically almost died, they're just screaming at each other whether it's salty or peppery. Like the whole meal, my grandmother's going, "It's peppery," and he's going, "It's salty." And
you're like, "Is Dad gonna die?"
Right. Is Dad okay? Where's Dad? In the hospital, but it's peppery.
Exactly.
That was like so. He used to make soups, clam chowder, all the stuff. He was just really good at that stuff. A lot of the men in my family have always cooked.
Interesting.
Yeah, my dad would
Your mom
make.
doesn't cook?
She would make things. They were kind of a team on dinner.
What's their favorite thing that your mom makes?
They've really fallen off lately. I've gone to their house for dinner in Boca.
Yeah.
And they're really making a mishmash of things.
Random shit.
A lot of rando shit. Yeah, I've gone over for dinner. They do great.
Chocolate chip cookies?
No. I'm going to get to that in a second. But they do a great. Oh, also, baby ribs. I love ribs in a barbecue sauce. My parents did I don't know.
You
where
and
they
Mike
got it from.
have the same palate, I think.
Except for the sweets. I'm not as big a sweet guy as he is.
Right.
So to bring this all back around, now that we've done our top foods at a barbecue.
Yeah, very dating specific.
Also, that'd be a good Hinge prompt, even though we're all off of dating apps.
Rate your top.
My top barbecue foods.
Why not?
Good summer Hinge.
Why not discuss it on a first date?
Great first date discussion.
Yes.
So one of the things for our summer dating challenge was to go to a bar and be off your phone.
Yes.
And sit at a nice place. I went to Gramercy Tavern. Have you been there in a while?
Not in a long time.
Gramercy Tavern's been like an institution here
Right.
in New York. Long time. Very upscale. Has a certain crowd.
You sat at the bar.
Sat at the bar, one seat open, sat right down.
No phone.
Phone-ish. I mean,
Okay.
let me be honest,
All right.
because if someone saw me there, they'd be like, that guy was on his phone.
Okay.
So I was on my phone, but I will say, for the off-the-phone moments, there's two older women sitting next to me.
Okay.
And
How old? How old is an older woman? I want to know what age I'm going to be considered an older woman.
Yeah, this really hits people the wrong way when you say older woman.
I just want to know.
She
From
was
your
not-
opinion.
Well,
there's older is subjective. So older to you.
if it was someone my mom's age, I would call them an older woman, but I don't think that they're elder.
And then where is the line between older woman and old woman?
These were two. It's difficult because one had a British accent, and I think that makes an older woman older.
I could see it, especially if it's like a posher accent.
Right.
Yeah.
So it made me think of her as older, and she was right next to me.
Give me the number. Just do it.
Older woman?
Just do it.
70 and above.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say like 50 and above.
No, 50. You kidding?
That's older.
That's older than me, but that's not an older woman.
Okay. I
mean, this is where women do this to yourself.
If a 30-year-old,
this is where I become a feminist.
If a 30-year-old man was dating a 50-year-old woman, you would say he's dating an older woman.
He's dating an older woman, yes. But if a 40-year-old man, me, was dating a 50-year-old woman, I
would still say you were dating an older woman.
I would say I'm dating an older woman, but it wouldn't be that she's an older woman, if that makes sense.
All right. So what's
dating
an old woman?
Old woman is 85. It gets shorter. The spans get shorter.
Okay.
I would say 80 and above old woman.
Okay.
70 above, older woman. 60 and above, around our parents' age is how I would describe them.
I would call 60 and above older woman.
I would too, but to be respectful, I would say around our parents' age.
Okay.
That would be my sign of respect.
Right, but that's like you being political.
I'm being
politically correct.
Listen, there was a woman at my show in Huntsville, and I called her a grandma, and it was as if I called her it was like the way people reacted to it was like crazy.
Yeah.
Because she yelled out. She was waving and yelling out during the show, and I go, okay, grandma, what's going on? No, I called her one of the Golden Girls, and it was as if like,
how old did she look?
She was older.
So over 70.
She was over 70. She was 73.
Oh, okay.
I asked her, I go,
that's
how
okay
old
to call her grandma.
I have this all on video. The Huntsville shows, shout out to Huntsville. They're not listening. There was no one there. These people.
Well, I think everyone who was there is probably listening.
For the people that were there, they saw a show. There was a point where I said during the last show, I'll put it online. I don't give a shit. I was like, I'm going to tell every comedian that I ever come across never to come to this town to do shows ever. I go, this
You're
is
like
not
threatening them while you're there?
On stage.
Well, they're the people who came.
The people who came, it was getting a laugh.
Okay.
Like my nervous breakdown. Like there's a survival element to being on stage for an hour in front of 27 people. Okay. You do your material. That's what I said in the beginning. This is an intimate show. I do the material where I'm like talking about.
Did you ask everyone to come up like this?
I said, it's an AA meeting. I'm going to give out the mic. Everyone, I do my jokes that get them, me acknowledging.
Okay.
I'm not going to be a fucking fraud and go up and be like, hey, Huntsville.
Right.
To 3 people.
Should have just said everyone's name individually. Hey, Bob and Susan. And
honestly, I could have memorized all their names. Right. I'm going to put it online. I've been putting, can I speak a little plug city for 2 seconds? I've been putting up YouTube clips every Saturday. V's been helping me of my crowd work from the road. And a lot of it's me being too honest. Like a lot of comics wouldn't put these up. In my opinion, V, right? Like
she goes, no, it's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
Yes.
I'm showing, and maybe I'm too honest. I'm too humble. Pat on the back.
I work too hard.
Just too hard. I don't know. I'm putting these up to be like, this is what it is. This is the job of a comedian. Like honestly, like there's some people doing stand-up that aren't doing the job of a comedian.
Sure.
They are going and doing a theater show where they take questions and answers from the audience. That's not a stand-up comedian. That is someone going for their talk. I go with material and I try to work out the material to make a piece, to put out a special like we're doing together with the family plan. That's what is coming at some point, hopefully. But, I'm putting it on you. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, every Saturday, you'll get to watch me embarrass myself.
Someone was knitting at your show.
Someone was knitting at my show.
Oh, in Alabama?
No, this was in Rochester. I came on stage. Just a woman. And I got to say, the knitters, they were very nice. They
would be.
So
Can you imagine
sweet.
being like a fucking asshole while knitting?
Because it comes off like an asshole, but I do know my grandmother used to knit. It is one of those things to keep your hands moving.
Yeah.
It's like a fidget spinner, so I do have empathy for the people who knit, Knitters? Is that how the knitting community?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to come be a part of these shit shows that I'm now, I'm going to be on the road. I'm on the road, Stamford, Bloomington, Brea, Spokane, Denver, San Francisco, East Providence, Kansas City, Richmond, Chicago. I keep adding more. San Diego added for the new year. So, okay.
Wait, so how was the dinner? So
last night, the women of age, they were next to me. It was a British woman, but she said she was from Charleston. And next to her was another woman from Annapolis. And I was sitting there and I got a burger. I got the cheeseburger at the bar, medium rare. They actually didn't ask for how I wanted it cooked.
They didn't give a shit how you wanted it cooked.
No, this is how we make it.
That.
I do too. I actually thought about that. And they go, excuse me, how's the burger? And I go, it's actually wonderful. I was thinking, the reason the burger here is so good is it's not messy. Like I can pick it up and they gave you the sauce, their version of Big Mac sauce on the side. And I liked that. And I said to them, I was just thinking how much I like this burger and how efficient and neat it is. And I don't know if that's a reason to like a burger or not, but that's why I kind of like it. And it has this cheddar cheese on it that's like really sharp that almost has a crunch to it, but it's not a smash burger. And they were like, we're going to have to get it next time. And I go, well, where are you guys coming from? And they're like, Charleston and Annapolis. And then I got the cookie for dessert.
Love it.
The cookie there.
I love a cookie. Chocolate chip cookie.
Trinana, you got to go.
Warm,
thick. Just like I like my women, I like my cookie.
Warm, thick.
Thick, had a chocolate like in the middle, like a splooge of chocolate, and then came with a side of chocolate milk.
Wow.
It was
chocolate milk. That's a lot of chocolate.
Honestly, the cookie was too big for one. I ate it all.
Okay.
It comes with a knife to split. You and Mike, this cookie, you'd be very happy.
Yeah.
If you like a cookie, I highly suggest it. But to bring it back to the dating challenge, these women just gave me a arrow to put in my sheath. How's the burger? I'm talking to these women. I'm not going to fuck them. They're old.
Older.
No, I'd fuck them.
I thought this was going to end with a threesome conversation.
So we all went home.
Okay.
Very gummy blowjob. But it was just one of those life lessons of like, there was, again, it's why do we go to the bar and get off our phone? Look around you.
Yeah.
They're looking at me and I'm on my phone, admittedly. I'll admit my faults.
Okay.
But they're like, how is the burger? That, to me, that's two people talking. We don't know what that becomes. And they asked about my job, where I'm living. Right. Am I visiting too? No, well, I just moved to Del Rey. Honestly, that's the thing. Like, I was like, all of this is good. In the land of positive. Loose ties. And we're not doing things to get something from it.
Right.
We're doing things to be living and breathing. And this is very woo-woo, but like, I just had a moment where I was like, wow, this is why I suggested the challenge without even knowing.
You know what I really like? I like that. And I think that the challenge, I'm going to add another layer to the challenge, is going out without the phone. And again, I think it's okay to be like half on your phone.
Listen, that we all are.
And like, if we're being realistic, I think the challenge could be say some sort of comment to someone sitting next to you at the bar. It doesn't have to be like a person that you're romantically interested in.
Totally agree. I think you have to talk to one person.
Yes.
And let me just say, from experience, from the other side of it, how's the burger? Great opener. Yes. How's the pasta? How's the chicken? Just give me your review. People are narcissists. I love telling them what I thought of the burger. Of course I want to let them know how I thought the burger was. So, lesson for life. Do you have anything to plug, anything to talk about? Let's get to the email.
I have nothing.
You have nothing.
I have nothing.
So we have nothing.
I have nothing.
Hey, subscribe to You Up with Benefits. Twice a month, you get an extra episode of the podcast. Plus, you get no ads and you can listen
day early.
Plus, we're doing a new thing here. This Monday, our YouTube is going to have exclusive You Up podcast content. So this Monday, whether you're a subscriber or not, you can go on YouTube and watch. We're going to be doing like these special episodes that are You Up adjacent. We're going to be giving dating app makeovers, tips for texting. It's going to be like consider it our easel to be painting new pictures on. So we're going to do like very, TV show type of content. So we want you to go on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, the You Up Podcast YouTube channel. Monday, there will be a new episode of You Up for More.
Yes.
Is that what we're calling it? You Up for More on Monday. And we've already taped them. They're fun. They're watchable. They're beautiful. They're sultry. They're curvy. They got hot titties. Go
check
watch
it out.
Them. Check it out. All right, what are we talking about today?
All right, I'm going to read our first email.
Email 1.
Hey, Jordan and Jared, longtime listener here and benefit subscriber. I'm writing in because I haven't heard of a situation like mine and I'd love your take.
Love it.
Let's dive right in. I've been in a great relationship for almost 2 years. We're both 26, turning 27 this summer, and I've decided that it's time for a little life shakeup. I'm quitting my job and planning to solo travel through Central and South America for 6 months. Okay, quarter life crisis.
Have fun.
This isn't totally out of the blue. Last year, I did a solo 2-week trip to South America as a little tester trip and loved it. My boyfriend and I have talked and decided to stay together for the 3 months until I leave, but we both agree that we don't want to do long distance. There's just too much uncertainty about where I'll be after, where he'll be, and whether we'll want the same things. We aren't at a place where we want to settle down either. We've been hanging out every day we can and making the best of it. I've been in Colorado for almost 10 years and I'm excited and maybe a little scared to leave and go do this. I just feel like I'd regret not going. If I were in my 30s, I might not be making such a big life choice and uproot my life, but I know I'd regret not taking this adventure, and it feels like now is the time to do it. So my questions are, can you actually plan a breakup? Is this something people do? If you both know there's an end date, should it be on the person staying to set some boundaries? Is there a right way and a wrong way to do this? Thanks for all you do and all the advice in advance. A girl planning a breakup like it's part of the itinerary.
I appreciate her email. This is very different than what we've gotten.
Yes, I like it.
But I
not
do think
unheard of.
Not unheard of. Also relatable.
Yeah.
Like the idea of like this person. I don't know. What do you think?
I think the most, the rarest part of the story is that both people are on the same page.
So,
which is sort of like the gift.
From her perspective.
Yes.
It is a gift, and it's also her belief that it's the same page, but she wrote something very important in her email.
Let's hear it. What?
She wrote, if you know there's an end date, should it be on the person staying to set some boundaries? That means it sounds like it's her idea and she feels as though this guy is going along with her because he likes her.
Right.
And she's kind of worried, am I taking advantage of this person? So shouldn't he be the one setting the boundaries if he's staying? Mm-hmm. It's a little...
You're saying it's not quite as mutual as...
I'm saying we're getting her side. I'm sure he's agreed to this. I'm sure when she writes that is her asking for permission to do this.
I know there's nothing hotter for a guy than a woman going away for 6 months.
Right. Well, there's nothing hotter than a person going away for 6 months that you said you're not ready to move on to the next
Commit
step.
to, yeah.
Because she writes that as well.
Right.
So to me, when I hear this, to me, the relationship is already over.
The relationship part of it.
They're done.
Okay.
Right now, they're hanging on to me, they're Rose and Jack hanging on to the slab of boat that's already crashed.
Okay.
And they're waiting to let go of it.
For someone to let go first?
Right.
Okay.
Because I don't think this helps her trip.
To stay with him till the end, you're saying?
I think staying with him to the end is a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've already done the hard part, which is to say to one another that you have been good for my life, but I don't see you being a part of the larger thing of my life going forward. That, and again, that can change. That 2 years from now, you could call him up.
Could be the wrong timing, yeah.
Wrong timing. I think that's maybe the issue that we get into is like, well, if we break up, it's forever. I'm not saying you should count on that, but like you've just said, here and now, at this age, I want to go on a trip and risk losing you forever.
Right, and that means something.
Means everything.
Yes.
So, you know, the options are ride this out until the day you leave and then go through a breakup while also going on a 6-month trip.
I mean, she'll have a lot of distractions.
She will, but she'll also he might become a distraction.
If they're still speaking, right.
Right.
Yeah. It's not clean. That definitely is less clean.
It's not clean. It's not, I don't think it helps her. Her whole thing is like, I want 6 months to find myself on this trip.
Okay.
Which means you're not fulfilled by this person or they're not really.
Right. Or you wouldn't go.
You wouldn't go.
Yeah.
So.
Or you would stay together while you went.
Right. Or he'd go with you and you guys would find yourselves together.
Right.
I just think she needs to end it now. I don't know how you feel.
I think
because
right.
to add to that, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I think she ends it now, not because she's hurting his feelings, because she is using him as a crutch.
Right.
And that crutch will still be used by one of you when you leave. And that's taking away from the whole idea of this trip.
Right. And I think she's sort of like staying on this like good term till the end thing in case does feel like she wants this as a backup.
Right. She wants it all.
Yeah.
Having her cake and eating it too.
Right. But I mean, I guess part of me is like, well, what's the harm? And I see what you're saying.
The harm is to her, not even to him. She asks about...
that she has to figure out the breakup while she's doing this new thing.
Right. A breakup takes time to grieve, whether you know it should end or not. Like, you have to get used to, like... It's kind of like, you know... A breakup is like having a bag on your right shoulder and then taking that off. Like you're like uneven. Mm-hmm. Like it's one less person to talk to, text, and hug. There's a void. So she's going to go on this trip and be away from friends and family. and in the woods or wherever in South America, and then also lose the person she's been texting every day and using as a crutch. I think it makes her trip harder.
And I mean, what usually happens in these situations, especially if you date until the end, is that the person who's like lonelier starts texting the other person, and as if they're still in a relationship.
Right. So it's either her texting him while being on this supposed life-changing trip.
Which could not go the way she's planning.
Right.
Sure.
And she'll feel lonely, and she'll go to the one person she's been texting every day.
Right.
Or it's him going to her, and she feels bad that she's not getting back to his text while he's grieving the relationship.
Right.
So why not get through the grieving process now? Not that you'll be done with it, but like now's the time to do it while you're here, and find the new people that you lean on. Your friends and family. Like stop texting.
If you were dating someone and they were going away in 3 months to do the 6-month thing, would you stop dating them?
If they came to me and they were like, hey, I'm going on this trip, I would see that as the end of the relationship.
Okay.
I would say, you're obviously looking for things that I can't help you find.
So you would want to end it now?
I'm saying
they're
that
like, but we can still hook up until I leave.
Once a week, we just go down on each other. That's it.
Right.
No, I'm saying this with no heart involved in it, so it's easier said than done.
Right. I agree. I think they should break up now. I don't think they would because it's so comfortable and like there's no animosity.
She's looking for discomfort. She
But
hates her life so much that she's running away to another country for 6 months.
That's empowering, bro.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm sure that's not
do
how
it or don't.
It. Right? Yeah.
Go
all in.
Go all in.
Right.
You decided for this all in moment. I'm just saying your all in moment will be taken away from by the breakup that's happening at the last possible second.
Yeah.
When you know you could do it now.
You're right.
And you could repair yourself for this trip. I don't know. And when she said at the end, shouldn't he make the barriers? Shouldn't he make, it's like now you're looking for us to agree that you're not a bad person for,
Right. Well, what if she's like, all right, I think we should end it. He's like, I'd actually really like to hang out until you leave.
That means he likes her way more than she's admitting.
So that's extra reason to not do it.
Right.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I do want to play a game associated with this.
Let's do it.
Because you're dating someone and a big life change is coming. So this is an uncomfortable conversation.
Okay.
Because based on this email, she hates her life and wants to run away from it and see if this trip to another country will help her find herself.
Okay.
Okay? If someone said that to me, I'd go have your life. Go figure your stuff out. Obviously, I'm not the one to help you with that.
Okay.
So you're dating someone, big life change is coming. You love them. Do you break up or buy in?
Let's hear it.
Okay? 6-month trip to find yourself. I say, Jordana, I need a 6-month trip to find myself.
Break up.
You're ending it.
6 months? No. You can find yourself in less time than that.
So I'm going to do 3 months in Mexico.
Well, no, it's like if you need to find yourself, you're not happy in this relationship. You're not happy with your life. I'd rather date someone who's happy with their life.
Right. I'm breaking up. You come to me, I need a 6-month break from what we're doing here.
You can text me when
Indonesia.
Text me when you're back. We'll see what's going on then. We can circle back.
Well, I like what you're saying, circle back, because that means no texting in between.
Right.
I need you to feel this.
Circle back when you're in a different space.
Okay, you're dating someone, they come to you, they say, Jordana, I got to do a month in rehab. Are you breaking up or are you buying in?
I'd say that explains a lot. No.
That's why you're always in the bathroom.
I think I would also, it depends how long we were dating.
You're together 2 years. They're like, Jordana, I need to go to rehab.
I mean, I assume we have issues, like as a couple, if they also need to go to rehab. I assume
you knew they did a little drugs, but like you never thought it was like crazy.
And they're self-checking into rehab.
And they're like, Jordana, remember when we were doing, I feel really bad about the drug use I've been doing. I got to go to rehab for a month.
I think I'll wait.
You'd stay with them.
Yes. To me, that's like they're checking themselves in. I'm not even saying they have a problem. They think they have a problem. They're trying to better themselves for 1 month. We've been dating 2 years. If we've been dating 3 months, let's circle back. If we've been dating 2 years, I think I would say, all right.
1 month, they get their phone taken away in rehab. You're staying together.
For 1 month?
Yeah.
For 1 month, I could do that. Not for like anything longer, though, I think.
Okay.
What about you?
1 month.
2 years you were dating.
2 years, 1 month, they take away the phone, we're staying together.
Yeah.
1 month, they keep the phone so we can text. I think that's even worse.
Yeah, I'd rather them not have the phone. Then you're like on a break if they don't have the phone.
Right. Because if they don't have the phone, now they're really getting the help they need, and they can figure out if this relationship was positive or negative to them.
Right.
Like if they go to a rehab and they get to keep their phone and they're like, let's stay together for the month. Honestly, that's the same as like us dating and just...
You just go to therapy.
Right.
Yeah.
So
no,
I
don't think
feel like
I'd
break up with someone who kept their phone for the month in rehab.
All right. I could see that. I agree with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been dating a year, they decide I'm going on Ozempic.
That's fine.
You're staying.
Yeah, do whatever, makes you feel better in your own skin.
I'm staying with them. I'm fearful they lose that fat ass I love so much.
Yeah.
But I'm staying with them.
Okay, they're saying they're going on Ozempic. They're on Ozempic. You go out to dinner, you're the only one eating.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing. I mean, I'm going to gain the weight they're losing. I'm eating my meal, I'm eating their meal, the appetizers.
Yeah.
Jared, you've gained 50 pounds. She's lost 50 pounds. It would be like...
yeah. I mean, would that the eating out... Because I've heard people say that they felt like they were like more boring on it.
Right. That's the thing. Like I do think losing a lot of weight, it like messes with your mindset a little bit. Mm-hmm. And you might lose... I don't know. Or if
you're a person who enjoys food, that's like part of who you are.
Right. And it's part of what the relationship is a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like we connect on food.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were like, hey, I'm going on Ozempic, I wouldn't break up with them, but I would be like a little bit concerned that the relationship would change. That does involve me.
Right. Yeah. I think you'd have to see how it played out.
You're 6 months in, they say, I'm going to grad school. I'm quitting my job where I make $250,000 a year to go to grad school.
Is it grad school in the city that we live in?
Same city, but they're going to lose their paycheck. A lot of things are going to have to change.
I'm assuming they're losing the paycheck to hopefully one day make a larger paycheck once they're done with school. It's an investment in their future.
Let's take a different change because this happens a lot.
Okay.
I've been grinding it out on Wall Street. It's not fulfilling me. I'm going to go to grad school to become a psychologist.
They make decent money. Okay.
It ain't what you're used to.
Sure.
You're used to Gramercy Tavern. Now you're going to Applebee's.
I'd have to evaluate our lifestyles and see. I'd have to align on what we're looking for in a lifestyle and if we can still achieve it together.
Okay.
I think like that includes what I make. That includes. I think that's more of like a. I don't think it's a breakup on its own. I think it's more like have your views on the kind of lifestyle that you would like change. What are my views on my lifestyle? Can we both still have what we want with this new situation? How will it change the dynamics of our relationship? I think that's like a conversation to be had.
Right. No, I'm with you. It's not a breakup, but it is. We have to readjust and discuss.
Yes. Our expectations.
I think like it's funny, like the prenup conversation. It's like a prenup is like kind of a great way to talk with someone. Like if you think about it, like, hey, let's just like discuss a contract.
Yeah.
Because a lot of relationship stuff is unsaid contracts. So when you're dating someone who is a Wall Street grinder who's making $300,000 a year and you two are used to going on vacations and having dinners, and then suddenly they're like, I want to be a psychologist, and that's a different lifestyle. You have to negotiate a contract together.
Yeah. And it's also like, I think a little bit of a change in their personality.
Absolutely.
You can't really separate all of these things from each other, just like the Ozempic thing. It's not really like in its own box. Like it comes with other things that go into it.
They find out they have celiac and they can't have gluten.
I don't care.
It's really going to change my life. But I'd be okay with that.
I'd be okay
Celiac
with it.
is the only way I'd be okay with it. If they were suddenly like, I'm off gluten, I'd be like, well, I need a good reason.
What if they're off dairy?
I'm okay with that.
Doesn't sit well with their tummy.
Dairy, to me, I've done without for a long time. Honestly, only recently has dairy made it back into my life.
Dairy is back a little bit. It used to be like people were very against dairy.
Well, dairy and sugarless gum and coffee creamer. My whole life is the gum sugarless. You're putting creamer in your coffee. The windows down with the AC up. You're wasting gas. These were all fraudulent claims.
Right.
Like the idea that if I put a little creamer in my coffee, it would be 1,000 calories.
Right.
That's how
it was going to change your whole body.
Right.
Yeah.
It's 10 calories. That's one step on a staircase.
Yeah.
Like if I don't take the moving escalator at the airport, I can have the creamer. And I'm sitting here my whole life being like, should I put it in? Should I not?
You've been lied to the whole time. I feel like Alex Turoff's really good with that.
She's really good about that.
Like, kind of like showing you like how little certain things matter.
Alex Turoff, Alex with an I. Go follow her. She's a great nutritionist. All right, let's go to the next email. Petty or prudent?
All right.
Dear J&J, longtime listener since 2019. Oh, we're elder women. Live show attendee, Boston, 2022.
Great show.
I remember that show. And yes, unfortunately, I'm also the girl who slept with the meat stealer.
Do not remember that.
I have no memory of that.
We have no memory.
Well, sorry, it didn't work out.
I like how she's like, and they'll always remember me as sister. Like, no idea what that story is.
Sorry, but we appreciate your support. Regretfully back with a new dating saga for Petty or Prudent. I went on 3 great dates with a guy from Hinge. Okay, date 1, coffee walk.
Okay.
Good or bad date, coffee walk? Date 1.
I don't want to walk. I think the coffee walk seems more like a man thing because they don't like to look people in the eye.
Shoulder to shoulder. That's a big male thing.
If I'm having a connection with someone, I'd like to be able to look them in their face. I don't know. Coffee would be fine. Coffee walk. It's like
fair criticism, because I heard coffee walk. I was like, great first date, but I hear what you're saying. I think you're right.
I just feel like it feels like more like my pal. Like I would go on a coffee walk with my friend who I already have an established connection with.
I don't need to see the changes in their face.
I think there's something about eye contact that's important in early dating.
I hear you. Museum night. You think that's a good second date?
That's a good 4th date.
Both shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
That's back to back.
That's a lot of shoulder to shoulder.
Drinks is the 3rd date. At that point,
I feel
that's
like
the first intimate.
Yeah, these are going opposite in terms of like the intimacy.
Right, they could have gone drinks, museum,
drinks,
museum night, coffee walk.
Or drinks, coffee walk, museum night.
Right, but it's got to start with the drinks. I was excited. Then came date 4, dinner on his roof deck.
Trying to fuck.
Dinner on his roof deck. You better have quite the roof deck.
I have talked about like the city roof guy. Check out.
Explain city roof guy for us.
The city roof guy is a guy who uses the roof in his building as a way to like lure women into his apartment.
So the roof acts as
I've got a great
the bait.
view. Yeah, it's just like
want to see a view that Carrie Bradshaw would love? That's what they're saying.
Kind of
right?
My roof has a great view. Like it just seems like a pretense to get you. And like there's just like it almost feels like they chose this apartment because they know women like drinking on roofs.
It would be funny to see a guy in his 20s getting shown a new apartment in New York, and he's like, and here's the apartment, and you got to see the roof. And then he gets up there, he's like, yeah, this is the closer.
Seriously? I mean, it feels
see a
like
pussy
that.
getting wet on this roof.
It feels like that. Do you know how many Murray Hill rooftops I've been invited back to?
You're a rooftop slut.
Want to have a drink on my roof? Oh my God.
So want to have a drink on my roof is please blow me.
That's the code.
That's the code.
Yes, that's the code. If anyone lives in Murray Hill and is between the ages of 22 and 28 and they invite you to their rooftop, that is what they are saying.
They are saying, please come home and touch my penis.
Yes.
All right.
You heard it here
first. Rooftop slut. Whatever
me.
the combination of all that.
We'll make that a shirt.
Under a minute.
We'll make that a shirt.
Rooftop. Rooftop whore.
Going down on the top.
Okay, so midway through, I'm telling him some juicy gym drama. 2 trainers having an affair. And suddenly his vibe shifts. He asks, if you hang out with all these people sleeping with each other, what exempts you?
It took her, let's see, 4 dates to get to this. Figured out this about this guy.
Well, when you're shoulder to shoulder on 2 of the 3 dates, this is kind of speaking to that.
A little bit, yeah.
Not to like Monday morning quarterback. I mean, you went on the date, you had a fun time. That's a little bit, like if you get asked on a coffee walk and you're like, I don't know if I'll know that he's a piece of shit or not. Like, don't go that hard on it.
Right.
But this is kind of like
now looking back,
connecting the dots. Yeah. Looking back, suddenly the vibe shifts. He asks, if you hang out with all these people sleeping with each other, what exempts you? Unsure where the sudden hostility was coming from, I asked, excuse me? He went on to question my friendship with men from the gym, pressuring me to explain why I don't pursue them romantically. Baffled, I tried calmly reminding, these are casual friendships. He then asked why I trained for half marathon with a male coach instead of a woman. Spoiler, there is no female running coach at my gym. I found myself defending my right to associate with men without it being inherently sexual. I said I'm allowed to have guy friends. He continued escalating and even mentioned, based on the company I keep, being worried in the future I might cheat on him. Couldn't believe any of this was being said. It was our 4th date. I called an Uber home. When my ride arrived, I told him that he was unfairly accusing me, making me uncomfortable, and that I was leaving. In disbelief, he asked me, "Are you serious? But I invited you to my roof. That means you're going to suck my dick." No, I'm kidding. He said, "Are you serious? Can we at least talk about this?" I left, told him I was uncomfortable, and dipped while he chased after me, begging to talk. I was literally shaking. I was in shock. I had been so excited about this guy, only to find out he's the most insecure man in blank. He tried calling and texting me. I didn't answer until the next day after having some time to think. Screenshot attached. He didn't text back. So, all right, ready?
You be him.
I'm going to be the most insecure man in blank.
Okay. With a nice rooftop.
Can we please talk? I never meant to make you feel weird or uncomfortable. I'm sorry I made you feel that way.
Hey, I enjoyed my time with you in the past couple of weeks, but last night was pretty shocking and disappointing. The way I was spoken to was inappropriate for a 4th date. We were still getting to know each other, and while it's of course expected to be curious or ask questions about one another, that is not what you were doing. You were making pretty negative assumptions about me based on very little information. I felt very judged and misunderstood. I don't need my character to be questioned for having friends that are guys. I don't know if you can have friends of the opposite sex without sexualizing them, but I can. I think you should think about the way you view and treat women before you decide to go on any more dates. Best of luck. Okay.
The following day, I tried to log into Hinge to find that my account had been removed. So they sent the screenshot, your account has been removed. Your account has been banned for violating our terms of service. Click here for more information. If you believe this was an error, you may submit an appeal by no later than February. After doing some investigating, I determined this guy must have reported my Hinge account. I tried submitting an appeal, which did not get approved, and I am notified that I am permanently banned from Hinge. I'm in disbelief and trying to get my Hinge account back. Can anyone please help? I'm pretty upset because I don't believe I did anything wrong. And I'm actually being penalized for maintaining my boundaries and prioritizing my personal safety. I even wrote into one of the Are We Dating the Same Guy Facebook groups. Sorry, Jared. I'm not against them. I am against them. And a bunch of women responded that they've also been banned from Hinge for no reason other than men who have revenge reported them as well.
Wow, I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know either. And it goes back to, we were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you had someone who got banned.
Someone got banned. I received an email that they had been banned. And we did talk about these algorithms, or it seems as though that there's certain things that get you banned, and it could be anything from a name change or an age
Although
thing.
yours was like fraud.
Well, they claim fraud, but it went under this one very...
Right. I guess on Hinge or any of the dating apps' perspective, they're kind of like, yeah, we'll just take it down because like it's easier than investigating.
Right. Yeah.
Or like in the meantime, even.
Right.
Like,
and
right, yeah.
Listen, we're getting her side of the story. Mm-hmm. I believe it. It doesn't.
Sounds like someone who had that attitude would do. If she's, again, we're not even see it over text, but that's what she said. He said, I believe her.
Right. I believe her. I'm just, it's wild to me. I'm as befuddled as her that this report, like, I don't know how he reports her and they just believe him. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like if he reports her for, I don't know, harassment, or I don't know what he's reporting her for.
Yeah, they don't do any sort of like
getting mad at me on a
diligence,
date. Right. Like
yeah.
It just seems weird.
I don't know what the process or protocol is for reporting someone on Hinge, if you have to like prove anything, or if you can, like, you know, on Instagram, you can like report a comment as inappropriate, or like,
right.
Or like block someone and then report them for being like spammy or something. Mm-hmm. I guess you could do that. I don't know what they do to the person after you do that.
Right. Yeah, this is all, again, like, it sucks. Just generally that it's not taken more seriously, but maybe it's taken so seriously that they just, like you said,
right,
they just get rid of anyone who's been reported.
Yeah, I feel like they need some sort of healthy balance, but I don't know what the bandwidth is of these apps to like do a thorough investigation for everyone who's
I think it's
doing
being
these
done.
things.
I think it's being done by like a machine. Like I don't think it's a human element here. The entire experience has really been upsetting. Now I'm scared that I'm going to be alone forever with no access to the only good dating app, in my opinion. So petty or prudent, you report someone on the dating app for rejecting you. Thanks.
It's obviously petty. I think
petty.
That's pretty clear.
Absolutely. What do you think of her plight? Like, do you think this? To me, there's a positive way of looking at this.
Gets her off the apps.
Gets you off the app.
Yeah.
And I
but
don't.
If someone's asked like, why aren't you on the apps?
I've been banned. I told a man that I like to have male friends, and I got banned.
Yeah, I mean
from
that's
Hinge.
a good reason. If someone told you that, I think that you'd be like, okay, that sounds reasonable.
Totally.
Yeah.
It does suck for her. She's got to like kind of like live with this thing she has to explain.
Right.
That no
but
one
I mean,
wants
if
to
you
have
tell
to
the
explain.
story,
Tell the story. Yeah.
It's actually a good. It's kind of a good dating story for someone to do wind up on a date with.
Right. It's definitely petty.
Yeah.
It's
this guy seems crazy.
I've never reported anyone.
Roof
I mean,
guys.
right, these roof guys.
Yeah.
I have a game to play.
Let's play it.
Hinge Court. Okay. So we play Hinge judges and assess bans to dating crimes. Okay? So let's say we are now the people being reported to.
Okay.
And
we're on the back end.
We're on the back
apps.
end. We're in the back. We're in the office. We're in our cubicles. Not you're in a big office because you're a CEO.
Yes.
I'm in a cubicle. But we are given dating crimes, and we put how long?
We sentence them.
We sentence
I love
them. We
this.
ban them.
Okay.
But you could, again, unlike the machines that are being accessed here, we give like a thoughtful ban.
Yes.
So if you
we're taking things holistically in mind.
Right.
Yes.
If you could report things to Hinge to make them have a ban, would you report them, and how long is the ban?
Okay.
Okay? If they don't ask questions back on the app.
No ban. You just stop speaking to them.
No ban.
No ban.
Someone goes, hey, I'm sending you the screenshots. They haven't asked one question back. I've been talking to them for a week.
That's on you.
That's on you.
That's on you.
I'm with you. Yeah. You keep talking to this person who doesn't ask questions back. Honestly,
it's not a crime to have a bad personality.
Right. Well, honestly, within 3 back and forths, you should be annoyed enough to leave.
Yeah, you should be like, I'm not. How much do you value your own time? You're spending a week trying to claw answers out of someone who's not engaging in the conversation. That's on you.
I love that. Okay, they say we should get a drink and then make no plan. So we get sent the screenshot. Hey, we should get a drink. And then the other person goes, would love it. Let me know where and when. And then they write nothing back. Would you ban them?
3-day ban.
3-day ban.
3-day ban.
So this person receives an email.
Yes.
Hey, we're going to give you a 3-day suspension.
Yes.
Because you brought up a date.
Yes.
And didn't make a plan for that date.
Yes.
I like that.
I find that annoying. I think that person's being annoying.
I like that. I am that person.
Okay.
I'm the person who's brought up a date, not made the plan. If I got a 3-day ban, I would do it less.
You think about it again, but you wouldn't be like outraged. I think the punishment fits the crime.
I'd go slap on the wrist. I deserve it. My bad.
Fair. Yeah,
okay.
You might not do it again. Yeah.
They make it sexual.
Some people like that.
Okay. So you're like back and forth. Well, you submit. They submit us a text exchange on the app,
right.
unsolicited. They go from, man, it was so hard to decide where to eat dinner tonight. And then the guy writes back, you know what else is hard?
Okay. See, there's different levels.
I'm just saying.
I think there's different levels. There's like that. Further than that, there's like a dick pic. You know what I mean? Like, I think
that's why we're assessing the ban.
It's a spectrum, right? I would have to see the sexual comment. Or was it like sexual bordering on flirty? Like, is it like flirt? You know what I mean? Is it flirty with like a sexual undertone, or is it more blatantly sexual?
Let's go with the
hard thing.
This hard thing. The example I gave. Mm-hmm. You're having a conversation. Hey, I went out to dinner tonight. It's so hard to make a dinner plan here in the city. Reservations are so difficult to come by.
Yeah.
And then he writes back, I'm not difficult to come by.
Okay.
I'm doing this off the fly, okay?
Here's the thing.
Are they banned?
But here's the thing. So the guy's doing that because there's some women who maybe are into that.
That's fine.
Right?
But you run the risk. When you say that unsolicited,
right.
You run the risk of really making someone uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You've made someone uncomfortable enough to submit it to us, the Hinge judges.
I think if you're doing it while you're still on the app, a week-long ban.
Week-long. Hey, man, this is Hinge. We've decided you've been banned for a week for that horrible coming joke you made.
Yes.
He'd go, I get it. Okay.
What do you think?
I think a week.
Longer?
The cum joke, a week is fair.
A dick pic, 2 months.
2 months for a dick pic.
Yes.
Let's say innuendo.
Actually, dick pic 6 months.
6 months.
Unsolicited, no sexual context, 6 months. That's like harassment.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
6 months is probably a proper ban.
I think so.
Maybe a year.
Maybe a year, yeah. Now the more I'm thinking about
because my parents belong to a country club, like they live in the country club, and they
and
talk.
This is not allowed there.
No, this is not allowed. But they do have this at their club where people get banned and people get like suspended. Not for this. I'm not gonna besmirch anybody. I'm just saying that it is funny because like there's been arguments amongst the people in the card room, and like a guy gets banned from the card room for a year. And it's like, this is like, and I do think this is fair to have this.
I think a
Hinge
year
cop looming. It should exist.
I think like a year and maybe like a class. You have to
submit, get back on. You have to submit
You went to some sort of like anti-sexual harassment class.
Kind of a good nonprofit for Hinge to get involved with.
I would think, yeah.
All right, let's
I think that I actually feel like that's the proper punishment. 1 year, and you need to upload a certificate from the
Hinge sponsored class that you took.
The anti-sexual harassment in the dating atmosphere class.
Okay, one more. They ask about your weekend. So their opening thing is, hey, how was the weekend? No ban.
No ban. They're not, again, you can choose anything where you have agency. This is not an offensive question.
Right.
No ban.
Honestly, it's a good thing to tell people that because stop complaining about that. That's a great, to me, how was your weekend? We're getting
you can make it creative. Yeah.
You can write back, I did this, this, and that. And then they can write back, that's fun. And now you can submit, they didn't ask you any questions.
Yes.
And we still won't ban them, but at least.
You can move on.
And it would be good. I think it would be good if we email people. Your conversation has been one. I do think if you don't ask any questions or you ask about their weekend and they submit you, the person should be let known
that they're being boring.
You've been submitted, but we are not going to ban you for not asking questions.
Right.
But I do like the idea that you can let someone know.
I think they should do like almost like a Netflix thing where they're like, "Are you still there?
Right? Are you still enjoying Lisa?
Are you sure?"
Okay, let's play some games.
Let's do it.
Red flag or deal breaker. You're dating someone, everything's great. They do one thing. Is it a red flag? Is it a deal breaker? We're going to tell you.
Let's find out.
Go for it.
Okay. Hi, J&J. Big fan of You Up, oversharing all the pods. I've been to the live shows and spread the word every chance I get. Thanks for the continued guidance as I navigate dating post-divorce in my early 30s.
Consider our nuts feathered.
Indeed. Now, for my red flag or deal breaker. I, 34, met a guy, 36 male, on an app about 1.5 years ago. We dated for a few months and had a great connection, but he moved cities and neither of us wanted long distance, so we ended it. He stayed in touch, and on a recent visit, we hung out a few times. Things got deep quickly. We talked about seeing each other again and the possibility of something more. Then he told me he used to be a sugar daddy.
Ooh.
He'd had a few short-term...
He likes candy?
He'd had a few short-term sex-focused relationships with women around his age when he was lonely and struggling to date in his new city. I appreciated that he was open about it, and I followed up with a lot of questions, his mindset, motives, how things ended, but I'm left torn. I'm questioning his views on women, money, and how men and women experience physical versus emotional intimacy. So J&J, I need your take. Jared, is this more common than women realize? Why tell me now? Jordana, would you date a guy who disclosed this? Should people even share this kind of thing? So red flag or deal breaker, he used to be a sugar daddy and signed not the sugar baby. And then I asked production to come with a definition of a sugar daddy just to make sure we're on the same page about what it means. So the definition of a sugar daddy, according to the internet, is a sugar daddy is typically...
Always trustworthy.
Right. A sugar daddy is typically an older, wealthier man who provides financial support or luxury perks to a younger partner, the sugar baby. In exchange for companionship, the arrangement may also include intimacy, emotional support, mentorship, or travel, depending on mutual agreement.
So what do you think? You're on a date with someone and they say that they were a sugar daddy.
Well, I'm happy he's probably paying for dinner. Right.
Right.
I think I would be out on that. I think it'd be a deal breaker just because like, I think I'd need to know more. Was this like something that kind of like happened? Like did he go into it sort of under this deal, or did he just used to date people who he realized suddenly later were just more interested in his money and he always paid for things? Or was he like, was it very explicit and clear that he was going into this with this deal, so to speak?
You know, it's funny that you bring that up, because a lot of this has to do with your perspective of who's the winner and who's the loser in this situation. Mm-hmm. Like, she presents this as he is in power and these women with no power are getting paid to do something they hate so much.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it like that.
No, but I'm saying that's kind of the way she presents it. Like,
Right.
his views on women, and she asked if I hear from a lot of men. No, this isn't something I hear all the time. Like, I do hear about arrangements.
I feel like a man would be like a little embarrassed to admit this.
Well,
or not.
especially at the age he is, 36 male. Like, he's not.
It's not that old.
Right. He's not like one of these old haggard women talking to me at the bar. You know,
Right.
like, it is. No, but I to me, when I hear a 36-year-old man who has a sugar.
How much money does he have?
Right. Is he dating fearfully? Is he in this like position where he makes so much money where he feels that without an arrangement he could be taken advantage of?
Yeah.
So this kind of makes him feel better about it. Like, I'm trying
Is
to
it
think of like.
explicit or is it implicit? Like, I don't know.
It sounds
how
explicit if he's saying it.
Right.
Because I think the implicit situation is
'Cause there's
someone
plenty-
so
right.
rich that they pay for everything, and
Right. It's never like discussed as, you know.
and I think that's from the outside looking in. On the inside looking out, they're like, no, he just likes paying for things, and I'm his beautiful
that's
girlfriend.
That's what they're deluding them, or telling themselves is happening. And I mean, I think there's always an exchange of something in relationships. In some ways, it's usually the larger the gap, the more uncomfortable it is.
Right. Like, she asked why he brings this up. I think he brings this up because he ended it, based on her email, he ended it because he didn't want to do distance. Right? Move cities. Neither of us wanted long distance, so we ended it. He stayed in touch, and on a recent visit, we hung out a few times.
Okay, yeah.
Things got deep quickly. We talked about seeing each other again and the possibility of something more. I don't know how that comes up.
After a year and a half?
And hanging out, and maybe you guys have a few drinks, and
Is he saying this is something he's offering?
no, it sounded like, well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's the idea that, like, to me, when I read this, and again, we're all informed by our own biases, so maybe this is my bias. It sounds like she may have said on the date, like, could this be something more? You know, you're visiting and we have this great connection. And his way of being like, I'm not looking for a deeper personal connection, but in the past, I've paid women to feel more comfortable about getting together with me, and would you be up for that? Maybe that's how it came up.
Yeah. I would need to know more about like the way that he thought about that experience in the past, how he's like processed that, and what he's looking for going forward. Do you know, it's like we always talk about, it's like not your baggage, it's the way you carry it.
Right. Is there a way to carry, I've paid women to spend time with me and now I'm looking for something more and real? Like, and we don't know. Maybe. I mean, we also don't know his financial situation. Like, something about this, like, if someone was like, I'm a billionaire and I don't know who I can trust, and, you know, this is a good way for me to, like, I'm giving a lot of empathy to the billionaire in this scenario. I'm
almost like, I'm not that, I'm not even that sexual, but I really wanted someone to bring to events with me and go out with me. But
then you would go, why doesn't he just, like, try and date someone? You know, like, to me, it's an inability of him to be able to be honest with people without money being involved.
Right. Well, I'm trying to think almost like, would it bother me if in the same level, like if a man told me that he had been to like a sex worker before, would that, or even got a happy ending massage, let's say.
Okay.
Like, is that similar? Is that different? I'm trying to like play it out in my head. This seems like a longer term
I think a lot
thing.
of men would see that as different. Me being one of them. Yeah. I wouldn't.
How so?
The sugar baby thing to me feels more of like an all-in.
Because it's a longer period, like an affair.
Well, it's like you're looking for a date that you never
get.
It's
like sadder?
It's a little sadder.
Yeah.
Like when you go to a sex worker, it's purely sex. It's not this like, to me, or maybe it's not. Sometimes the sugar baby element, calling it that, I don't know how big of a difference it is, but like that element of it is like you're paying for intimacy that you couldn't find yourself or you don't want to work on finding yourself.
I think it would be sad. I think it would be a turnoff. There's a way maybe it wouldn't be a deal breaker depending on how it was. If there was like so much context to it that I could understand where they were coming from.
Right. Like I'm thinking if a woman told me that she used to pay men to spend time with her, I would ask her why.
Right.
And
you
she's
feel
like,
bad.
I would feel bad, but the why would have to include my priorities were elsewhere. Like I could get to.
I needed it to get me through this phase of something.
I'm a hard charging person and I was working hard and I needed someone to go to events with. And there is this.
It's like that movie, The Wedding Date.
It's really, it's the same thing, you know, like, you know, there's people on cruises
I just needed to not think about this aspect of this part of my life for a little bit.
Right. And it was like wearing the same thing on a date every night. I didn't have to think of what I was going to wear.
Yeah.
You know, and I could see how it would work, but a woman is different than a man. I think.
Well, what if a woman said she was a sugar baby?
See, this is where it comes to my biases. I kind of think of sugar babies as like entrepreneurial in a sense. Like I think
she has her own business.
Well, I think it's like them using what they've got in a sad way. Like
this is what the men are doing. They're using what they've got also.
Right.
Yeah.
And sad, I don't know, sad, happy. I guess I'm trying to like be political about my answer.
Right.
But I'm saying like if someone is like,
well, what if they were like, I'm, 23. I'm just like wanted to travel the world and see everything. There's this guy. He's a nice guy. He pays for everything. And, we have a decent time. I don't think we're going to marry him, but.
Right. I could get there.
Yeah.
I think I could go and listen, I wanted to live in New York and it made it so I could pay off my student loans.
The old student loans story. Just strip until I can pay off those student loans.
It is the version of
guys
that.
love the student loans.
We love
thing.
it. That's the out.
You guys love a student loan.
It's got to be a trope, like a movie trope, like it's Pretty Woman. I almost said Dirty Woman. It's a Pretty Woman. Yeah. It's Pretty Woman. It's the diamond in the rough circumstance, so to speak.
I think probably deal breaker, but I would hear him out.
Listen, there's a lot of people who like thank their sugar baby part of their life for
you're
being where they are today, so I could.
You pay a therapist.
Right.
This is like a,
Yeah, it's not a deal breaker for me.
I'd need to know more.
It's a red flag for sure. Because am I being played? Like maybe there's such a good sugar baby.
Right, you don't even realize.
Right, and then like a year goes by and they're like, hey, listen, I like you, but if you want my time.
That's why I'd also want, like, your trial's up. That's why I'd also want to know, like, how explicit. I'd just be fascinated to learn more. Like, how explicit was this arrangement?
Right.
How did it come about?
What was your reasoning for getting into it?
Is this
I think
like a service?
Both ways. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do another one.
Okay. Hi, J&J, longtime listener and subscriber. I'll jump right in. I was seeing a guy, and on the 5th date, we met at his apartment for a drink before dinner. When he was giving me the tour, I saw that he had a twin bed in his room. For context, we're both 31, and he has a job that he could afford a bigger bed. Red flag or deal breaker. He has a twin bed, even though he's lived at his apartment for 6 years. Side note, I made fun of him, and no joke, he went to buy a bigger bed the next day. Oh, that's kind of cute. But still thought this was a funny one, so I wanted to hear your thoughts. Love you guys. Thanks. A no twin beds batch. What do you think?
So I thought about this. It's almost the worst part of it is that he ran out and got a bed the minute she said.
I think it's the best part of it.
Well, it kind of shows you like when you go see a man's apartment and he's living in squalor and you're like, how could he live like this? He doesn't care. He doesn't think of it as squalor.
Right.
He only cares until you care or someone he cares about cares. So the idea that he like ran out for the bed, like you just know that he is someone who really doesn't need much to be happy.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, there's a nice part about that. I don't know. Like for me, from the male side, if I saw a woman with a single bed and then the next day she went out, I'd be like, we both can't not care. Like I don't care that much. So like it wouldn't work for me.
Okay.
But it's nice that they went and got it out the next day.
I think it's better that he was ashamed. I think it's okay to like be, not with it. But
you would be with someone who doesn't care about having a single bed?
No, I mean,
that to me is like the thing.
The issue to me is that she said he's been living in this apartment for 6 years, so I would assume he's at least like 28.
Okay.
And that's too old to have a single bed.
Right.
If he was 22 right out of college or something like that, and he had a single bed, maybe he had it from his, I need the explanation. He had it in his other apartment. He had a really small room.
28 is the last possible year for him to have a single bed.
Yes. I mean, it's a little late still.
But it's still late, but it's like going to college for a 6th year.
Right. And
you're like, okay, this is it though, right?
And as soon as she told him, he was like, "Oh fuck yeah, this is like not
right.
This is embarrassing."
Okay,
I think it's better to be embarrassed. I am because that guy cares and he's trying.
You have to choose one bed for the rest of your life: twin bed, bunk bed, water bed.
I'm sleeping with someone else.
You're sleeping with someone else.
Water bed.
No question.
You know, I heard the purple mattress is the new water bed.
Really?
Yes.
Why? Because it's like a generational thing?
No, there's like a certain like material of it that like makes it feel like very different. Have you ever tried one?
I gotta try it.
It feels very different. It wasn't for me.
Okay.
But people like, if it's kind of the thing where like, if you like it, like you love it.
Right. There were people that liked water beds at certain points. So there it is. I'm looking at a picture of it.
It's like the modern day water bed.
Maybe I'm gonna go try it out.
You should go try it.
Maybe they should sponsor the show.
Yeah. Go to a mattress firm.
All right. Let's do one more.
All right.
J&J. I'll get right to it. This is about me, and I can admit up front that it is not my best quality, but I am really curious if you think it's just a red flag or a deal breaker. And maybe after your verdict, I'll change my ways.
Let's hear it.
All right, let's change some people. I hate putting sunscreen on other people's backs. I think it's gross, and I'm disappointed that as a society, we haven't figured out how to solve this problem. Hey, entrepreneurs, Shark Tank idea right here.
Yeah, get on it.
I know that you'll say that spray sunscreen is the solution, and it does help, but there has to be a better way.
You got to rub in the spray still.
You still got to do something. Yeah. Anyways, I was in Australia earlier this year, and my friend asked me to put sunscreen on his back, and instead of doing it, I told him to just wear a shirt instead. That's not the solution. Well, he didn't, and got a really bad sunburn on the middle section of his back where he couldn't reach. All her fault.
Kind of.
Now, in my defense, he eventually bought spray sunscreen, and I did begrudgingly help a couple of times after that. It's also important to note that I have put sunscreen on previous partners and friends' backs, but usually after a small argument about how it's gross and I don't want to. A point against me is that I do usually ask them to do it for me. That is a surprise. I know, hypocritical. But in my defense, I feel like most people don't take as big an issue with it as I do. And I don't really think there's many men who would say no to it.
Have you seen my back? Have you seen it?
How could I avoid that hot back of yours?
There's men lining up around the corner.
I guess friends, I mean, it is so weird that they're like, it's gross, but like, when you do it to me it's weird that they're like okay with people doing it to them.
I kind of get it.
Acknowledging that men wouldn't mind because of the sexualization of it.
Right.
It's weird that you're like...
It's very hypocritical.
It's very hypocritical.
Yes.
Because you're acknowledging you understand that it's weird because of the sexual nature of it.
Right.
Okay. I guess friends are a different story, but anyways, red flag or deal breaker, putting up a fight when asked to put sunscreen on someone else's back. Yours truly, a lovable PIA. Pain in the ass.
She definitely sounds like a pain in the ass.
Total pain in the ass.
It's like my friend Ian says, you scratch my back, you scratch my back.
Right. What do you think? Red flag or deal breaker, a guy you're dating won't rub sunscreen on your back.
That's a deal breaker. That guy's like not into me.
He doesn't have any
or he doesn't care
total
about
intimacy issues.
He doesn't care about my son's safety.
Right.
And he's not that into me. But it would be, I would say it would be like 100 times worse if he expected me to put sunscreen on his back.
Right.
While refusing to put it on mine.
It's weird.
That's a selfish person.
Selfish person. You don't sound great. You have to get yourself out of the sunscreen game at that point. And to say to someone, put on a shirt and then put sunscreen on me?
No.
No, that's even more
You're
annoying.
an asshole.
You're an asshole at that point. You put on a shirt, but rub it on me.
Here's the thing. I understand. It's not my favorite thing to do. I don't like love putting sunscreen weird. On anyone's back.
No,
it's
I hate
it. Friend, husband, whatever, family member. It's like it's not something I'm enjoying. Mm-hmm. But you got to do what you got to do. That's being an adult.
Right.
You lotion my back, I'll lotion yours.
Put these in order.
Okay.
They come up to you at the beach. They say, "Can you put sunscreen on my back?"
Yes.
Guy with a hairy back, very hairy back that you know, but not sexually with.
He's a friend.
Friend.
Okay.
Your grandma.
Okay.
Random person at the beach. Stranger. Hey, I'm alone. Do you mind? Do you mind putting some sunscreen on my back? Put those three in order.
Okay. Random person I don't know is last. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm definitely not touching a stranger like that.
Okay.
I might be calling the cops. Grandma is number one, and then hairy guy friend's number two. My grandmas have actually quite soft skin.
Okay.
And they're the most in need. They need protection.
So due to the grandma's risk of death and soft skin,
yes,
you're putting her
they're
first.
number one.
I'm putting random guy at the beach
as number
first.
One? What?
Yeah. There's no
you would never
mental
do
connection.
That. You would never
I'm not saying, listen, I would never, but I'm put in the position where I have to answer the question.
Okay.
There's no mental connection. There's no awkwardness. I don't have to see them later.
By nature of him asking you that, don't you think there's something very weird about him?
But he's alone.
Exactly.
Well, he's at the beach. He just wanted a beach day. He's alone.
He's asking a strange man to put sunscreen on his back.
I know this is weird, but I'm here on my own, and I
would think
really
he was going to steal
sunburned.
from me.
So you'd be rubbing lotion on his back, and then suddenly fall in love with him, and then he's taking all your money?
No,
How would
like
that
he's
even
like
happen?
some sort of like trick, like the pickpockets, like they're like diverting you with one thing, and then hey, can I borrow your phone to call my mom, and then they Venmo themselves money. Like
here you go.
Oh
my God, where's my wallet?
I'm stranger danger.
That's like a magician.
I'm not doing anything with that guy.
Okay.
Or a woman, or I wouldn't do it for a woman either.
Stranger, grandma, hairy back. That's my list.
Okay, so we're both ranking grandmas higher.
Grandma went higher than I thought due to the soft skin thing I never thought of. But I will say
grandmas have great skin.
They apparently, I gotta feel it for myself. This person's the deal breaker.
Yeah, they stink.
They need to. You can
be an adult.
You cannot do this if there's other people out there to do it. You can also not do this and not ask for your sunscreen on your back. That's the big deal breaker to me.
I agree.
All right, we solved dating again.
We did it. We'll be back on Friday.
Boom.